Sun is out in full force today. It looks really nice. Actually, yesterday was actually really windy and cold, but I guess as usual when it's really windy, I guess it blows away all the clouds and yeah, you get this really nice weather. Oh, too bad I can't fly the drone around here. It would have been nice to get all the views and stuff. I was able to catch up on all my entertainment stuff yesterday, so it was nice to relax just for a little bit. And oh no! It seems like one of my favorite wrestlers retired. He basically, his name was in the show anyways, it was The Undertaker. And yeah, I guess after all these years, he's calling it quits. I always have admiration for people that stick it out for that long, despite what industry or whatever you work at, especially something that physically demanding. Let's see, some weird stuff I read today. This one actually was pretty weird. I mean, as you all know, Yahoo and so forth, they're not really in that good of a financial position. And I believe before they had to deal with Verizon to be like bought out. And it says here, AOL and Yahoo plans to call themselves under a new name, Oath. Apparently that's the rumored name. I'm just thinking, Oath? I don't know. I really can't see how that name relates, but yeah. Actually, yesterday I got a shipment from Amazon too. If you all remember, for those that have been following for a while, I bought one of those brand new games for really cheap, and basically it actually broke the street date. I was like, oh, is this accurate? I was thinking maybe I'll play it for a little bit afterwards, but I have to catch up on my martial arts and stuff later tonight because I've been missing it for a while. That's why it's good I walk so much too. I mean, you have to make like these physical activities and stuff just part of your lifestyle, in my opinion. Otherwise, things like that happen, then yeah, you'll drop the ball and you'll start from square one, in my opinion. Does this look like spring is in full force already? It actually makes me debate if you could fly through like an empty forest usually. Like even if the forest itself is within 9 kilometers from an airport or whatever, would it be okay to fly through a forest like this where, in my opinion, the only risk is to the drone pilot themselves, like losing the drone, like hitting a tree or something like that? It would be kind of an interesting footage. Actually, I read a lot of news today about the topic of doing things in a quote public place or a private place, which was kind of interesting. The first one was this video which basically went viral. For those who haven't seen it, I'll link it below, and I'll warn you ahead of time, there's a lot of cussing and stuff like that in there. It seemed like it was about a couple and a lady. They were inside this restaurant of some sort. They were ordering food, and one of the lady who was ordering her food saw, I guess, in the corner or whatever, in a seat, that the two couples, I don't know, holding each other and kissing each other. And apparently she found that really offensive to the point where they were telling them to stop. But she was going crazy, saying get a room, calling the other women derogatory names and all that stuff, saying, hey, this is a public place, stop doing that, get a room, and then she goes crazy saying you're harassing me with your stuff. I'm like, what in the world? And yeah, then there was the argument about how her view was, this is a public place, so you shouldn't be able to do that. But then the other people, they argued, no, this is a private place because they're inside a business. Man, it just went on and on and on. And then apparently someone told her to try to stop. It sounded like he had a British accent. And then she made a comment of well, he should go back to where he came from or something like that because she lives there. Oh my God, this is so crazy. I mean, that's mind-boggling in many ways. I don't really know how you would address that. I guess I can see how some people would be offended, or even some people say they find it disgusting when they see other people showing public displays of affection in the public like that. But is it really necessary to go that overboard about stuff like that? I mean, that just makes me think how crazy it is when it comes to things just even the drones and stuff I've been talking about. How, where do you draw the line between saying well, it's an open area or whatever, it's a public place, they're not doing anything specifically wrong, so is that necessarily a reason to go crazy? You can see the couple were say right in front of the lady, doing it purposely right in front of her and so forth. It's a little different, but in this case, oh, that's too overboard. Now this other video I saw was actually kind of interesting. It dealt again with doing things in the public and private, except in this case it had to do with photography or videos, taking videos of photography in public places. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe this video was from China. Like the guy was trying to do a vlog, I believe. Now, if I'm understanding the issue correctly, apparently the person had an issue with that guy taking videos and photos with a camera. So then he mentioned like, well, is it okay if I take it with my like smartphone? And then afterwards he's like, yeah, that's okay. Okay, you gotta think about that for a while. It's an interesting scenario to me personally because like for example for the drones, I know one of the hot topic issues for people is privacy, like the fact that the drone has a camera. But like in this case, for example, what is the difference with someone, for example, filming with a camera, like say a DSLR, versus someone using like their phone to do so? Is there a difference, honestly? Isn't this a double standards? If you say like, yeah, I should be allowed to take pictures and videos with my smartphone, but you can't with the camera? That doesn't make sense, does it? Or somebody like, feel free to educate me. Like regardless if it's a camera, a smartphone, or a drone video, I would think fundamentally it comes down to whether or not like you have like say the camera or whatever right in the person's face, like targeted them specifically. Like that's a little different than them being like say a backdrop, so to speak. Like even when I take drone videos, like often you can see like maybe people in the way far background, they're like a little dot. Like that's a huge difference than like someone coming right up to you and filming. Because it's kind of interesting too, because I know a lot of times for me, like myself, when I flew the drones and so forth, a lot of people actually do come up with their smartphones taking picture of like say the drones and so forth because they're so interested in it, and at the same time they capture like the people in the background too, even though they're primarily interested like in the drone. Like there, I don't say like, hey, stop taking the photos or whatever. It's basically like a public place in many ways. I mean, speaking for myself, honestly, the only thing I can think that's different on why people would be more apprehensive of like say, you know, a regular camera versus a smartphone camera is that they're worried about the quality. Like say a certain camera shoots like extremely high def and they're like, oh no, I don't want to like, you know, have myself in that full big screen and so forth. Although honestly, like I don't know if people realize, but a lot of smartphones nowadays take really good pictures and photos too. So if that is the reason why people are so paranoid about that, they might want to like, you know, rethink the whole thing. Unless someone out there has like a different like reason for it. Like I'm always interested in finding out what are the reasons why people are so afraid of like say one thing versus the other, when in reality they're kind of fundamentally doing the exact same thing. That's some interesting stuff.
From one spot to somewhere else.
Would have been nice to get an aerial view, huh? Actually, it makes me think, let me edit some videos here of, it's kind of close to the place I was thinking of getting more drone footages. So yeah, let's whip this up and you guys can see how it's like. Look, what do we have here? I got some interesting messages related to the drone laws and stuff with Canada. I think I'll probably have to save this to tomorrow though, because it will probably require a bit of talking. But yeah, this will be interesting. All right, I'll see you guys later.